Hi everyone, welcome to the core values assessment of personality. First part will deal with the presentation and what it means to have core values and how deeply it affects your life. The second part will be describing how to download the Excel sheet, which are in the description box below, and how to use it. Okay, so why is this important for you to know? Well, every person has 5 different criterias in which they work in the world: creation, status, responsibility, cause, and action, like it says, right? The pie chart. So every person works for one of these things as one of these things. And because a person can be internally focused or externally focused in the world, it gives rise to two kinds of locus, two kinds of focus areas, if you might call that, like you can see here. Right? It can be an internal locus or an external locus, meaning, are you more going from inside to outside in the world or outside to inside? Where is your driving point? In terms of status, in terms of creation, in terms of cause, action, and responsibility, these are the only 5 areas we dominantly work. So, this is a kind of an advanced system of personality evaluation, if you wish. Use this. Download links are in the description box. Give me your comments, whatever you came across which made sense to you. Okay, take care, be safe. Hi everyone. So we'll come to the last but the most important of advanced personality testing evaluation that I do, and this one is so crucial I cannot even begin to overemphasize it. It's called the core values assessment. What inherent core values do we come in with as human beings? We are born with this, and this value system is what we chase in life. This is what we pursue. This is what we aspire towards. Sometimes it is so hidden and so buried in all the things that we do in life, in our upbringing, in our society, in our personality. It is so deeply buried that we are consciously maybe trying to find something in life, that mysterious something, always kind of hitting an invisible wall of unhappiness, thinking, why am I still sad in life, doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, getting a job, getting this, getting a business, I've followed all my passions, etc., etc. But there is something called as core values in the center of it. In the center of you, there is a core value that your soul is chasing. If you want to get esoteric about it, you're chasing a particular dream, a goal which has a value quality to it. Now, these core values assessment is that test. I take it in the very end, after the basic and all the advanced ones are finished, because by the time you arrive at this, one really needs to be a young adult and beyond. There has to be a certain maturity to know what these value systems can mean and what drives them. This is the inner driver. Okay, let's see what these are. What is core values assessment about? This is one of the most important and the last one of the advanced self-image tests, and question is deals with what your core values are as a human. This questionnaire and reports are designed to help youth and young adults determine what their alignment is. What I mean by alignment is what they are doing in life versus what their value is. Are those two things in alignment with their core values in terms of basics? These are very basic, which are cause, creation, responsibility, action, and status. All of the human values can be clubbed under those 5 basics. Think of it this. You need to think very deeply on this. Just those 5 basic core values is what a human being craves and works towards. Since every being has an external as well as an internal world, these reports expose which value system you give more credence or importance to. Are you more of an external person or internal person? So each one of these 5 has an external aspect and an internal aspect. These reports will show an adult what their value system is in terms of above. Okay, empowering the individual to shift their focus consciously towards conscious co-creation with the world. That's the key word there. Conscious co-creation. Are you engaging with the world in a conscious way, or are you just following everybody else's random suggestions and beliefs and whatnot? Okay. A typical core assessment first report. Now there are 3 reports which come out of this particular test. What are those? The report number 1 looks like this. These are the 5 value systems given in terms of percentages and score: creation, status, responsibility, action, and cause. Now this particular individual has maximum area or focus in terms of action as a basis. Okay, they are action oriented. Next, they are cause oriented. Okay, this individual was like this. What does this mean? The basic core values, what are they about? Creation. Is your core focus around creation? Is this your core value? Is this your dominant value? And you are not being one. If this is your dominant value and you're not being this value in your real life, in your work, relationships, etc., you may have a lifelong sadness, not because of something external or situations, but your own core value that you're not following through in your daily life. You're not being you. You're not following your bliss, like they say. Status, next of the core values. Does having status among your friends, family, and society, your surroundings, your dominant energy of your soul, is that your soul core value? If so, you should consciously focus on creating that for your life. Create status. Many of us are here, born in this lifetime, to desire and accomplish status, power, authority. Responsibility. Are you a deeply responsible individual? The third one. Some people have a deep sense of innate responsibility. They are very responsible individuals. Does being responsible mean everything to you? Start working from that level more if you find out through this test. Fourth one, action. Are you an action-oriented person? Taking action, being an activist for a cause or a condition or something in society or something in a company. Like Simon Sinek would say, first find out the why. Why are you doing the stuff you're doing? Does this mean the world to you? This is another core value, action. Last one is cause. What does cause mean to you in your core? Are you one focused on causes, social, societal, personal? It can be any one of them. Okay, area does not matter, but you're focused on the cause. This is what these tests will reveal. Next one of the report will be looking like this. It is the EXT, which is prefixed. EXT means external here. So this is the external locus, I call it. So this external locus means going from you to external, what you look for in the external world. So it becomes refined more. The external locus of this test will give you, are you interested in external creation, external status, external responsibility, external action, or external cause? This can also be internal, which we'll see in a minute, but let's just see what it means here briefly. The external drive. Okay, external locus is the external drive. External creation is that which is created by self in the external world. This is this person's focal point. Okay. External status, that which the self gets from the outside world or derives from the outside world, means from the world coming to me. External responsibility, that which the self holds responsible to in the external world. Like an external sense of responsibility, like a mother would spend for a child. I'm responsible for this child. That is external responsibility. External action, that which the self takes action in the outside world. external cause, that which is caused by the external world to drive the self. This is very crucial to understand the slight differences, which is very nuanced, but it's very real. Once you take the test with me, you'll know how real these things can be. The last type of report is the internal locus. Where is your internal locus? Locus means the line of energy that travels inside you. Internal locus, where is your focus? Internal creation, internal status, internal responsibility, internal action, and internal cause. We are talking about the internal drive here. The basic core values of an internal drive person. Internal creation is that which is created within as a value. It's a perception of the person inside as a value. Not maybe endorsed by your family, friends and relatives, or by your boss or your company. It may not be endorsed or validated by the external world, but you feel strongly as a value to that. Internal status is that which the self gets from within. You feel certain status. You may not be getting lots of accolades and rewards from the external world, but you feel very rewarded as a person inside. Same way, internal responsibility, that which the self holds responsible to itself. I am responsible for doing such and such because I feel responsibility about this, and I cannot live with myself if I don't take responsibility for such and such a thing. See, that is an internal sense of responsibility. Internal action, that by virtue of which self takes action in the outside world caused from within. Internal action is that by virtue of which the self takes action in the outside world. Means you are creating actions within yourself and you project it onto the world around you. It may be in your work, relationships, any area of life. Internal cause, that which is the internal cause which drives the external self in the world. Your human body, your human mind, your human emotions. Something caused a stir inside you and that which is driving you. It can happen both ways. Something in external can drive a person internally to do something, or somebody is born with an innate sense of a cause inside which they're trying to accomplish in the outside world. Okay? So the 5 basic core values, what are these things? What will this provide you with? What will this test provide you with? Well, from the above 3 reports, one can easily see for themselves just how much they are focused on which core values and what is the drive for them. They can more meaningfully engage with the world and feel more fulfilled in their life and purpose and happiness if they get these kind of core value assessment. What matters is whether one perceives value internally or externally in the world. Humans will spend their entire lives, their energy and everything they have in their resources towards what they value. And these tests give that picture to the individual. There are a total of 141 core criteria which I use to evaluate this, since it's very important. We can't give a wrong picture to an individual. That would be not at all in the best interest. That's not what we are trying to derive here after all of these basic tests and all of these advanced tests. By now, by the time you arrive at this particular test, you have pretty much known a lot about yourself. Now we are getting to the core. It's like going from outside and drilling down deep inside. These are the broadest areas of human life and living, and what one spends their time and energy towards. As an example, and this is the report which I showed you earlier, the 3rd slide shows this person's values action more than any other values as a base. This is the basis. Slide 5 shows that this action is more focused on externally into the world. However, the person's internal world where this is derived as satisfaction is cause, meaning the person views all action taken in the external world as a cause and is driven by it. And this is very interesting. When I told this person, when they took this test, when I took this test on a person, they were surprised and did not expect at all. But later they came back to me and said, yes, this was true for them, since they are a part of 5 different causes in their life, in non-governmental organizations, charity work. it's a she in this case, it's a female in this case, and she was surprised. She said, yes, this is what's been driving me all my life. And she's now in her 50s, so you can imagine finding such a great epiphany in such a stage of life. The core values is very deep dive into the hidden value system in every human heart and should be understood, explored, and worked with actively in each one's life. For you have one life, make it count. Okay? Hey there everyone, welcome back. This is the last of the advanced personality tests. Download link for this worksheet is below. Now, what is core values assessment? This is the most important of all the worksheets, and it's like the final culmination, the summation of all the previous worksheets in this playlist and in these videos. But I would recommend that you do not take this test until you have finished all of them. Otherwise, it's like jumping ship. Otherwise, it's like you're just trying to make a shortcut. It's not going to work. You have to first know yourself at the various levels of emotion, intelligence, thinking style, subconscious patterns, and so on and so forth. First, you have to build up. This builds up to this. Okay? Now, unless you take all of them and if you just land up at core values, it's not going to make any sense at all. Trust me on this, it will not make sense. That's why this is the last of all the personality tests in the series. Okay? What is your core value? What are you doing? Whatever it is that you are doing in life. You may be a student, you may be a businessman, you may be a husband, wife, artist, anything in life. What are you doing it for? What do we humans do things for? Because we have an inbuilt hidden set of core values. We value something. We value either, some people value more of family, some people value more children, more of. It's not that you don't give any value to your family, it's like more of something. I give more value to my cell phone, for example, or I give more value to what people think of me, or I give more value to what I give to people, or I give more value to what I'm called at work, my position in my job, my status in the job or the business, or as a businessman, how much spread I have. These are all values. We give value attachment to things, and it changes from one person to another. So one person's value system may not be than the person next to them, even if they are husband and wife. I've seen this so many times. The value systems change from one individual to the next. You got to understand this. Even your children will have totally different value systems. You can even score them as an adult. They will not know what to do with it, but you can score them on this. So what is this value system? Now, I have taken a set of 101 odd values, right? How many are there? 140 values from A to Z. They are in this column B. There's Excel worksheet you can download here. So the category is this. I'll explain this. Values are in this. External or internal, again I'll explain this to you. Category is this, and answers. Answers you type in on a score of 0 to 10. It's a scale. So you can scale this from 0 to 10 and give any score for yourself if you like. The more higher the score, the more you are that kind. You give more value to it. Whatever you give value to, score higher on that. That's the way this works. Okay? So what is this worksheet about? We'll spend some time here if you want to understand this, because this is deep. This is very deep. So let's take abundance. Let's say what do you value abundance like? Okay? First of all, what is it? It's an external status. Now we are evaluating in terms of external and internal. Okay? There are two locus of operations. Locus means line of thinking. Either we think about what matters to us in the external world, or what matters to us, what is created from inside of us. Two ways we work. Both are important. So abundance is about external status. Abundance is not your internal status. You don't think of anything receiving as abundant. People look at you as abundant. Let's say a big shot businessman. He's got lots of big fat bank balance and deep pockets. He's worried about the status of the external world. That's his value system. So if you don't like to be you don't give much importance to abundance or what my bank balance is, you can score 1 on that, or you can score 5 on that. So depending on that, these pie charts will change, which I'll come to in a minute. Let's take another one. Adventure. We all have a sense of adventure in our life. All of us have all these 140 values in varying measures. That's it. Adventure. When you think of adventure, it's an external action. You go out to get an adventure. If I'm sitting alone by myself here in the room like I'm making this video, there is no adventure there. There is just me. You can't have adventure with yourself. You have to go out into the world and participate. That's external action. I'm just trying to explain random things. Let's say challenge. If you use the word challenge, what does challenge mean to you? It's an external cause. Something outside. Am I going into the street and I see something happening and that challenges me or my belief system? So that's an external cause. Okay? So all of these things. Let's take another one. Control. What does control mean to you? It's an internal status. It's how you are feeling at any time. It's a status. It's not an action. Curiosity. What does curiosity mean? It's an internal cause. Something inside you causes you to be curious about whatever it is that you are going to do or investigate for this day. And that's an internal cause. Something causes you to be curious. Okay? And so on and so forth. We'll take some more examples because these are very subtle. You got to reflect on this. Generosity. What does generosity mean? Generosity, and column B here is all about core values, by the way. Generosity. What is generosity? It's an internal cause. Because one is generous inside of themselves, they bring that generosity to the world. Generosity is not gifted by anybody else. Some people are stingy. They'll always be stingy, right? You've seen those kind of people in your life. So generosity is an internal cause, that kind of a core value. Let's say giving support. What does it mean to you? Everything you got to ask yourself in this column B, core values, what does this word mean to you? Or what does this mean to me? It's an external responsibility. You don't have to worry about that, but you just have to score that here. You just have to directly type in the score from 1 to, on a scale of 1 to 10. If it means a lot to you, you can put in 10. If it means a little lesser, you can put in 8. And you can keep revising this worksheet anytime you want. Intelligence, it's an internal cause. Something, if I'm intelligent or if I'm not intelligent, it's a cause for me to do something in the external world. But the actual value, core value is internal. Okay? So you can go through these things. It's very complex. If you have questions, you can message me, you can ask me, leave your comments, etc. Because this is very complex. Now, the categories are of different types, and these are totaled here in this pie chart. So we have external status, all external set here: status, responsibility, action, cause, and creation. And you have internal ones of the same. Which tells me what? Which tells me that I'm focused, how much percentage of me is focused on what I get from the outside world, how much of me is giving more importance to what I bring to the rest of the world. Two ways we can work, right? And this is what is total or percentage in these two pie charts: external locus and internal locus. Which one are we focused in? Okay. So the external world is being given more importance, or internal world? This is just an intermediate I just did for my understanding when I was creating this. Give a 0 scoring method. This is very important. Give yourself a 0 generously. If these values you do not normally consider for yourself, give yourself a 0. It's okay. We are just trying to nail it down to what is really your core value. You don't have to score everything as 1 or 2 or 5 or 10, then become confusing for you. This is a process of narrowing down to a set of 4 or 5 core values that you work for. And trust me, this will save a lot of your time and effort in what you want to strive for in life. 1 to 5 means something you give very less value to. 5 to 7 means something you give very carefully. These values are more important to you. 8 to 10 with utmost importance to you. You will be working your life for this. Okay. So what is external status? Here we go. We'll summarize this now. What is external set of values and internal set of values? External status is that which the self gets from the outside world, obviously. External responsibility, that which the self holds responsible to in the external world. External action, that which the self takes action in the outside world. External cause, that which is caused by external towards you. External creation is that which is created by self in the external world. The internal one becomes more tricky, as you will say. Internal status, that which the self gets from within. Internal responsibility, that which the self holds responsible for itself. But people will go around telling, I made a mistake, I goofed up, I did this, I did that. That is internal responsibility. You are holding yourself accountable. Maybe the other people don't even give a shit, right? Internal action, that by the virtue of which the self takes action in the outside world. Internal cause is that which arises from you and wants to go out and do something in the external world. Internal creation is the most tricky of them all. It says that which you create value as for yourself. It's the most private part of you. What you really value as an individual is very complex. And this comes the final pie chart over here. So this individual for which this test was taken, they value more, maximum value they attach to is cause. But don't just look at this pie chart as the total of. You got to see where it is focused on. For example, you got to see the external locus and the internal locus, because we all have both. We all have something which we bring to the world, or we give value to some things within us, and some things which we want to do from the external world also. So there's both of them here. So in this case, the person gives internal cause a lot to work with. Status is not very important to them. See, status is just 20%, internal cause is 27%. So these people have a lot of themselves to offer in the world. Okay, this individual. External action. With the internal cause, they take external action. This is what matters. This is what drives them. You can even modify this Excel sheet as you want to see which one of your core values is more important to you. You can play with this worksheet and see where it takes you. But make sure you take this worksheet towards the end, after you finish all the other personality tests which are linked in the videos, in the playlist. Go forth. Enjoy. Okay? I conclude this particular one, and maybe I'll come up with something else later. Take care. Be safe.